Angel the Winds Arena in Everett, Washington on a Wednesday night. It is WNBA basketball, Commissioner's Cup basketball between the 14-4 Seattle Storm and the 6-11 LA Sparks. Good evening, everyone. Dick Fain along with Elise Woodward as these two teams meet for the second time in 4 days after Seattle's win on Sunday. And a big one, obviously, it's Commissioner's Cup standings, and Seattle holding the slimmest of leads on the Las Vegas Aces by one game, 6-1. The Aces hanging right there. Aces do own the pertinent tiebreaker by 4 points right now, so if there were a tie and that stayed the same, the Aces would have the 1 seed. So a big game tonight. Dick Fain, Elise Woodward. Let's talk about this one in comparison to which one we saw on Sunday. A hit-and-miss performance by Seattle in the win.
Well, they played really well for 3 quarters, but the third quarter was all LA. They went on a tremendous run, a stretch. They were 6 of 7 shooting from the floor, but in the end, it was too much Seattle, too much Ezi Magmagor. The block right there, she had 20 points and 9 boards, and really over the last 2 games has been fabulous. 32 points over the last 2 for Ezi, scoring another one there.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight. The gang's back together, Elise. The big 3 are back. Jewel Lloyd, after sitting out a game with the sprained ankle, is back with Sue Bird and Brianna Stewart. Katie Lou Samuelson and Mercedes Russell round out the front court. Brittany Sykes, Erica Wheeler, a couple quick guards for Los Angeles, along with Nia Coffey, Carly Samuelson, and Amanda Zowie B. We mentioned that they played on Sunday, and Elise, at halftime of that game, we gave them a B- for their midterm report card. They flunked the third quarter. There's no question about that. It was the worst third quarter of the season for LA. LA takes an 8-point lead over Seattle, but they aced the final because the fourth quarter, Seattle goes on a 30-8 run to get the 10-point victory. All in all, not a great game, but they still got a double-digit win.
Well, it shows you why they're the defending world champs, that they are clutch. They know when they have to step up. And this is the WNBA. You have the best players in the world, and you've got talented players. Even though they're missing the Agumake sisters, and even though they're missing Christy Tolliver, they have some talent.
Closed captioning for today's game brought to you by our friends at Google. The tip bounces around off about 5 sets of hands, and it comes in to the hands of Erica Wheeler. And it's Los Angeles basketball in the road whites tonight. Seattle in the greens. And Zowie B looking for the basketball over the middle. Erica Wheeler says, no, that was touched by a member of the Storm. But the referees disagree. Seattle basketball turnover number 1.
And it was a really solid defensive possession to start for Seattle. Mercedes Russell Super talking on the switch when Zowie B went high and forced the turnover.
Stewart to Samuelson, works her way inside, nearly carries the basketball, throws it out to Brianna. Good save by Stewie to reset the offense with 9. Samuelson looking for Jewel. Looks like her mobility is pretty solid after that sprained ankle, and she floats one up and gets it to go. A quick start for 24.
Yeah, you'd love to see Jewel Lloyd get in that zone early, and that was an aggressive take. A little floater off 1 foot, tough shot, made it look easy.
Sykes reverses the basketball. Coffey, nice fronting by Mercedes Russell, and she saves the basketball. Tremendous defense twice in a row by the big of Seattle.
Their defense on point here to start.
Sue, the jump shot, back iron. Russell there again, tips it around. Katie Samuelson tries to get it off the ground, and it's taken down by her sister Carly.
Yeah, it was fun to see these two match up. I didn't think either one of them played particularly well in that game a couple of nights ago, but we get to see the rematch tonight.
Zowie B, she can stroke it from here. This one's off the mark, tipped around. Sykes again says it went off Seattle, but no, it'll be Seattle basketball.
And so Seattle defensively, you see in the zone, and it's Russell rotating down to just swipe it away from Zowie B and force the turnover. LA is the team that leads the league in forcing turnovers at over 19 a game, but Seattle's defense here to start has been very active.
Sue around a screen from Russell, kicks it to Brianna Stewart. That one's tipped, and not too many threes from Brianna Stewart get blocked, but that one did.
She keeps that shot pocket so high, and with that wingspan, it's tough to get up there. A good defensive play.
Wheeler, dribble drive on Sue. Kick back out, Zowie B this time from the opposite side and snuggles that one home. 3-2 Los Angeles.
It's the drive and kick, very hard to stop. If you give up penetration, they turn the corner, you're going to have somebody open.
And a foul on Sykes. Seattle inbound the far side. You mentioned accurately that LA scores more points off turnovers than any team in the league, but Seattle did a pretty good job only giving up 14 points off turnovers. I think you'll take that against this Los Angeles team and make them earn their rest.
I don't think there's any question. Seattle turned the ball over just 12 times, and LA forces 19 per game on average. So Seattle leads the league, and they were even below that #1 mark.
Hook pass from Lloyd into Brianna Stewart, just beautifully done there. I don't know what was more gorgeous, the pass or the shot. They were both difficult. Zowie B beats the defense down. Seattle late there, 5-4 Los Angeles.
Yeah, just late getting back. Very uncharacteristic for Seattle. They don't give up a lot of those easy runouts.
Sue running Wheeler through a bevy of screens on this possession. Now backs out. Here comes another one. Right to left around Wheeler, and Wheeler gets her hands in there and ties it up. So a good drive by Sue. Even better defense by Erica Wheeler there.
Yeah, Sue Bird she felt the pressure, trying to turn the corner. This was the possession before. Crossover by Lloyd, gets the double team, zips it over to Stewie, who just lays it off the glass. That's execution like Noelle Quinn wants, for sure.
These two not involved in a lot of jump balls. We'll see who wins this one. And it's one by the 40-year-old. How about that?
I see your hop, Sue.
Here's Jewel driving in and fouled on the drive by Sykes. She's been frustrated from the get-go. She was frustrated on a couple of touches that she thought went out on Seattle, and now frustrated on the foul, and she's going to be coming out.
That is 2 personals, so that's why she's frustrated, is she knows she's going to have to take a seat, and she played a lot of minutes in their first matchup. 36 minutes. Scored 19 points. That's a big loss for LA when they're already shorthanded. If she's going to spend some time on the bench with those 2 personals, this will open things up for Seattle to make a run.
Such a thin team without both the Agumakays, without Tolliver, and now for the meanwhile, without Brittany Sykes. There is not a lot of firepower left on the roster. Here's Jewel with it. Kicking it to the corner, and that goes over everybody's head, but last touch by Wheeler. So a lot of onus now on Zowie B, on Erica Wheeler, penetration. Nia Coffey hit 3 threes on Sunday, so she could certainly provide some offense for Los Angeles. I think if Seattle takes care of the basketball, it's going to be very difficult for LA to score consistently in the half court. Here's Samuelson, 3-ball in the way off the back iron.
She wants to put that in her sister's eyes so bad. Just hasn't cut 1 for 6 in the first matchup down in her hometown of LA.
They might be trying a little too hard against each other potentially. Here's a scoop shot badly missed there by Cooper, who just checked into the game. Brianna runs it down to Jewel. Pull-up jump shot for 3. That one's off the mark. Quick in the offense there. Zowie B pulls the rebound down. Wheeler really slow pace here on this possession. Now Coffey faces up on Russell, goes right to the 10, and Russell denies it, throws it out of bounds with 7 on the shot clock.
And that is an excellent job by Russell, just sliding her feet at 6'6", not allowing to turn the corner, and then just shoves it right out of bounds. That is big time defense against Coffey.
Catch and shoot Samuelson, that one's short. Rebounded by Bird. She will bring it up. Carly was 2 of 8 in the game on Sunday. Katie Lou, as you mentioned, 1 of 6, and they both start 0 for 1 today. Turnaround jump shot. Brianna Stewart gets it to snuggle down.
That is just so silky smooth, the soft touch. It's impossible to guard when she releases it that quickly. Double team can't get there.
Seattle by 3, approaching the midway point in the first quarter. Glad you could join us tonight from Everett, Washington. Samuelson out of Wheeler. Jab step, puts it on the deck once, fires off the back iron. Jewel with the push.
And that was just one-on-one basketball by LA. No player movement, no ball movement, just trying to put your head down and get to the hole.
Sue slips, but they're going to say a foul is going to go on Cooper. Third team foul on Los Angeles. Seattle has yet to foul LA. Stephanie Talbot coming in, and we found out today, Elise, that this is Stephanie Talbot and Ezi Magbegor's final game for the Storm until the Olympics, as they are both going to join the Australian Olympic team to practice here. So this is it for them, and that's going to really thin out Seattle's bench for the last 2 games against Phoenix.
Yeah, there's no question that without those two, the bench will be missing 2 huge players. And then, of course, Phoenix will be missing their head coach, Sandy Bondello.
Here's Sue, 3-ball on the way, knocking it home. I think Sandy just said, you know, come on over a little early to our Olympic team. We don't want to face you when we play you. The way Ezi's been playing, that's for sure.
You think it was calculated?
Possibly.
They're more, what's more valuable, Ezi and Stephanie Talbot or Sandy? I know what Sandy would say.
11-7 our score, 4:30 left to go in the first quarter. Back to Everett after this. Welcome back to Everett. 11-7 our score, 4:30 left to go in the first quarter. Seattle shooting 4 of 9, 44%. LA 3 of 9, 33%. So neither team shooting well, but a pretty clean game thus far. Only two turnovers total. Those were by Los Angeles, and only 2 free throws shot. Those were by Seattle, as Noelle Quinn faces one of her former teams, the LA Sparks, for the 2nd time this week. She was named head coach last month for the retiring Dan Hughes, and Derek Fisher once again facing Seattle in his 3rd season as Sparks head coach.
Yeah, it was nice for Noelle Quinn. She said she got to catch up. Her mom was at the game on 4th of July down in LA. Had some friends and family. Got a little chance to say hi in her hometown to some folks that definitely support her.
That's Bria Holmes missing that one a little bit strong. Seattle pulls down another board. They have 5 on the game. Sue just loses it there. This is how LA scores. You got to be careful, and even the best in the world can cough it up, but a little miscommunication there, I think.
Yeah, you do not see that happen very often to Sue Bird. Erica Wheeler with that quick movement defensively and that pressure.
Oh, Brianna just cross-checked Erica Wheeler. Backdoor cut for Jewel Lloyd and the score. How about the screen and the feed by Brianna?
Well, that's what Sue Bird probably wanted to do to Wheeler after she picked her like that. Instead, it's Brianna giving the big blow on the screen and then the steal.
There's the steal from the MVP. The best in the world, Brianna Stewart, right there. Here's Ezi Magbegor in for the first time. Turns, spins, fires, and gets it to go. Ezi just picking up where she left off. Ezi Magbegor, a career-high 20 on Sunday, has 34 points in her last 39 minutes played.
And maybe a hint of a smile there from the youngster. Beautiful pass down low, and then Jewel Lloyd getting it high off the glass to avoid the defense and the block shot. And then this is a little bit new for Ezi. Back it down, back to the bucket, post play. She's a slasher. She's somebody that will pick and roll, pick and slip, or get you in the half court by putting the ball on the floor. That's the part of her game that Noelle Quinn says is going to be the difference for her as she gets older and more mature in the game. But that was a 3-point play done the hard way, and she made it look easy.
She grows game to game. It's unbelievable. You see something new from Ezi every single basketball game.
12 points 2 games ago, 20 points, a career high on the 4th of July. So she is coming on strong.
Cooper misses that 3, and that's what Seattle wants LA to do all night long. Just chuck it up from the cheap seats. They're 1 of 4 thus far. They're not a particularly good shooting team, and Seattle's up 7 right now.
Oh, this is when Seattle has to make their move. Brittany Sykes on the bench with those 2 personal fouls. And Seattle still with 2 of their starters, the big 3 on the floor, and Jewel Lloyd and Brianna Stewart.
Lloyd crossover dribble, now steps back, tries to clear space there, kicks back out Brianna. 10 on the shot clock to Lloyd. Doesn't use the Ezi screen. Crossover move into the lane, gets stripped of the basketball. Samuelson with a nice feed up top, but can Brianna run it down? Yes, she can. What a hustle by Brianna Stewart, back on defense to Talbot. Talbot kicks off to Jordan. Canada spinning in the lane. Seattle really attacking the LA defense. Talbot now on the near side. Pick and roll, Magbegor loses the basketball. Ball loose on the deck. We get a tie-up? Should have, but instead they're going to call a foul on Ezi. Boy, it looked like that was a tie-up prior to that rip.
Well, you'll take that foul every time if if you're Ezzy and if you're Noelle Quinn, and that's just a hustle play trying to get the ball back. And it did look like it was a tie-up, but Ezzy just fighting for the ball and not going to give up on it. And the foul 90 feet from your hoop that you're defending, not a problem.
A little bit of everything from Brianna so far. 4 points, a couple of boards, a couple of steals, an assist. Just a typical night for the world's best. 3 ball on the way. That's back iron as well. LA's been long on most of their 3-point offerings. They're 1 of 5. Ezzy right down Broadway against Cox, and she'll go to the free throw line for 2.
And that just shows you the foot speed for Ezzy. 6'4", but moves as well as a guard. And then Lauren Cox is your traditional post player, just getting picked up by LA recently after getting cut by Indiana, and she's a traditional post player, more like Mercedes Russell, where it's hard. You're supposed to be big, strong in the post. That's why Ezzy is such a tough matchup, because she can put that ball on the floor and score at her size.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. You can have some time to think about this. Is there a player, current or past, that Ezzy reminds you of?
I'm going to have to think on that.
Yeah,
I don't know if we've seen her enough. I know it's year 2, but we're going to see her grow, we hope, by leaps and bounds. You know, body type, she looks like Lisa Leslie. Now, Lisa Leslie is one of the best that's ever played on the planet, but you know, she's got that length and speed, but she's got a long ways to go to be Lisa Leslie. That's for sure.
Not to put any comparison expectations on her, just you know, some of the things you see in her game. I thought maybe there might be some player that kind of pops for you. 18-9 after the turnover. That's 5 for Los Angeles thus far for 5 Seattle points. Tiffany Prince into the game for the first time. Tiffany had a great game starting for Jewel Lloyd against LA on Sunday. 18 points in her first start since 2018 when she was a member of the Liberty. Shot block there, goes out of bounds. It'll be Seattle basketball underneath.
And Noelle Quinn says that she is just a walking bucket. She did everything for the team that they needed with those 18 points filling in that starting role.
Somebody lost Brianna. Can't do that. Somebody lost Brianna.
Well, Lauren Cox, what a matchup. She's got to deal with the speed of Ezzy and then the outside shooting ability of Brianna Stewart. Good luck.
And she's been on this team for, what, a week?
Yeah. That cannot be easy. It's not easy for anybody.
Zowie B kicks it over. Crossover dribble. Steps back. No good. Prince has it. Oh, crossover dribble, gets into the lane, kick back out. Talbot the layup with the left hand. No, couldn't get it to go. That was a pretty pass, though, by a Piff.
Yeah, beautiful job of playmaking. That hesitation just froze her defender.
21-9. As we mentioned, LA struggles to score if you don't turn it over, and we are seeing testimony of that right now. And here's another turnover. Seattle doing what LA usually does, and that's take the ball away and score in the break. The tip in by Jordan Canada makes it 23-9. Seattle looking to blow the doors off LA here early after a tight one in Los Angeles on Sunday. Wheeler has it, going right to the rim, kicks it off. They have enough time, they do. 3 on the way, off the mark. LA goes 1 of 6 from 3 and turns it over 6 times for 10 Seattle points off turnovers. That's more than LA scored. Storm by 14. 23-9 our score. All Seattle after 1 quarter of play, shooting 8 of 17. Out-rebounding LA 7-6, but it's been the poor shooting of the Sparks and the good defense causing that poor shooting, at least, just 26%.
Well, I think Seattle has done exactly what they wanted to from a game plan perspective, and that is push LA off that 3-point line and yet not give up straight line drives. Seattle is #1 in the WNBA in forcing teams to take mid-range jumpers, and that is the least effective shot in the game, and their zone has been really good about extending and then making you put the ball on the ground, but then they funnel you into Brianna Stewart or that young lady right there, Ezzy Magmagor. You don't want to be a guard and try to shoot over the top of either one of those, because you might have a ball put right back on your nose. So their defense right now is flying around and having good success.
It was 5-4 Los Angeles at one point, and then a 19-4 run happened for Seattle, and that's why we're at 23-9. And by the way, Seattle 11-1 this season when they lead at the end of 1 quarter of play. Newcomer in the game for Seattle, Sierra Burdick, is in for the first time. Her first action as a member of the Storm, picked up this week. The forward from Tennessee, and we've got an offensive foul on Jordan Canada.
The official putting out her elbow, like moving it around like a chicken wing. I missed it. But Jordan must have been trying to protect the ball and got contact instead.
Holmes has it up top, guarded by Talbot. With 12 on the shot clock. Spin move and another tough attempt there. Tipped around. Back to Los Angeles.
That was excellent one-on-one defense, moving her feet from Talbot.
There's Holmes all the way to the window, and they're going to get Burdick, who got a step on her on the drive.
Well, for Seattle, what they did really well in the first quarter was defend without fouling. These are the first 2 free throws of the game for LA. And they got a lot of easy points, and they cashed in from the line. 17 of 17 in their game against Seattle on Sunday, and that's high-level production.
First free throw by Holmes off the mark. Holmes 4 points, 4 rebounds on Sunday against Seattle. As Derek Fisher does some instruction. Second one badly missed, taken down by Ezzy. LA, in order to win this game, they are going to have to get to the line, make those free throws, and they're going to have to hit open threes, good open threes. And so far, their threes have largely been contested, and that's why they're 1 of 6. And it'll be Seattle basketball off the near side. 8 on the shot clock, 9:02 in the first half. Prince with it. She'll pull up, tough shot there, 18-footer, no good. Ball loose on the deck, and it's picked off by Nia Coffey. Cooper brings it up, tries to force her way in, and Ezzy gets a lot of basketball, but I guess they're going to say body as well. Because there was no hand on arm there. That was all ball, so it must have been underneath where the foul was committed.
I think they called this maybe on the body of Epiphany Prince. Certainly it was not.
Wow, I didn't see body from either one of them.
Yeah, that is a tough one. LA puts pressure on you. I was just talking about the foul shooting. They want to get into the lane. They're not scared of contact. They're physical guards, and that's a way that they score a lot.
So no starters in the game right now for Seattle. This is going to be a nice test for the bench. And the bench is going to be tested even more in the last 2 games before the Olympic break without Stephanie Talbot and Ezzy. So players like Sierra Burdick are going to have to play meaningful minutes on Friday and Sunday. Here's Canada with it. She'll pull up from 18, badly missed.
Never got her shoulders totally squared around, and you saw that ball tail to the right of the bucket.
Brianna's going to come back in the next dead ball after a very brief rest, about a minute and a half. That's tipped away. Here's Ezzy with it. She's going to lead the break. She'll feed up Talbot, who gets a step on the defense. Kick over to Canada. Nice extra pass to a wide open Prince. That is beautiful fast break basketball by the Storm.
That is just how you draw it up. You run 5-on-0 fast break in practice. Hit your lanes, kick it out wide. There should be a trailer wide open, and Prince nails it.
This one's off the mark, and Lauren Cox right there to get it, the offensive rebound, put back her first 2 of the game. Ezzy holds, tries to find her Aussie teammate Talbot on the back cut, but instead gives it to Canada. Canada back to Ezzy, tough pass there on the decision by Jordan. Coming the other way, Holmes on the run, and she will score, and that's exactly how LA needs to score right there.
Those points off turnovers, a good defensive possession, reading the lane against Jordan Canada, and then tipping it out to an open court where they've got lanes and ways to get to the bucket easily.
Brianna wasn't even able to check in, so Noelle Quinn wants to call a timeout and talk it over to get her star back in. Seattle up 11. 26-15 our score, 7:17 left to go in the first half. Seattle had a nice 19-4 push to get this out to a 15-point lead. It's still at 11. Breanna Stewart is going to come in back in the game. She is a plus 14 on the plus-minus Elise, going 3 of 6 for 7 points. And Seattle just sharing the basketball without her just a moment ago.
Well, Breanna Stewart also with 3 steals, which is impressive already in this game. And this is how you draw it up. You get the defense into the paint, you suck them in, and then you kick the ball out. Somebody is open, and you love it when it's Epiphany Prince who's open, because she knocks it down, coming off an 18-point outing, her best of the season against LA on Sunday.
As you drive with the right spin move and finish. Again, just something else we haven't seen.
And you just see her confidence rising with each minute played. And she's just a 21-year-old in her second season. The wobble last year, and then this year, just starting to come into her own over this last stretch of games.
I mean, just like presents that you just find under the tree. Oh, here's one over here. Wait, here's one over here. It's unbelievable.
Oh, look at her run the floor, too. Look at her.
Oh, Breanna was looking. Breanna was looking and thought against the 45-foot pass over the top. Canada with it, weaving her way in towards comfort range, and that was it from 16 feet.
That's a good hit from Jordan Canada. That mid-range game is where she really assists the turnover ratio, but that's the shot when she makes it. She's really tough to guard.
And she's bounced back nicely offensively. She's 16 of 32 over the last 7 games at 50%. You will take anything close to 50 from Jordan Canada. She was really, really struggling offensively at the beginning of the year, but starting to get that confidence back. Here's Canada with it. Got Talbot in the corner, also has Prince. Finds Piff, now back to Jordan. 6 minutes left in the half. Stewie gets ripped over the arms, and she will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. There's just really, I mean, this is an obvious statement, but some teams have some sort of answer for Breanna. There's just really no answer on the floor for Breanna Stewart right now.
Do some teams have an answer for
Some
her?
teams, I mean, she's struggled, you know. There are some really, really good bigs in this league that can match up at least semi-favorably with her, but tonight is not one of those nights.
I feel like with Breanna, a lot of times she gets really good looks, but they just don't go down. I feel like she's the one in control, though, totally. And certainly there's some excellent defenders that make it tougher. There's no doubt about that. But, I mean, she just has the ability to rise above every defender and knock down tough shots all the way out, you know, be well beyond the three-point line and then in the lane, and just such versatility. That time, those are the easiest 2 points she's going to get. She didn't even get into really her shot. She was going to look like she was looking to pass, just penetrated into the lane, but she'll take those 2 free throws.
Great scoring balance from Seattle. 9 for Breanna, 7 for Ezzie already, 6 for Jewel Lloyd, 4 for Canada, 3 apiece for Bird and Prince. They're just getting it from everywhere. Just really playing good basketball. I mean, it's great that they have a break, but you'd kind of like this team just to keep playing for the next month without stopping.
Yeah, there's no question. And for Seattle, it will be a big stretch in this Commissioner's Cup with the next 2 against Phoenix, missing Ezzie McMagor and Stephanie Talbot. That's why this game tonight is so big. They want to make sure they get this one all wrapped up and move on to the Phoenix matchup.
Feed down the middle, and there's Brittany Sykes back for the first time since very early in this game when she picked up 2 fouls.
She's such a difference maker for LA with her athleticism and her toughness. It was really a big blow to LA in this game to see her sitting for the entire first quarter, essentially.
She really improves the defense, too. 5th in the league in defensive rating. So it's not just an offensive performance she gives you D as well. Bodies all over the floor as going down hard was Coffey. She may have landed on the basketball. I don't think she collided with anybody, but it did look like she potentially landed on that ball.
I hope it's just a matter of getting the wind knocked out of her. Anybody that's had that happen before knows that's, you know, not much fun. Right there, she gets tripped up from Stewie.
Yeah, the ball.
And I think that's where the foul came too, with Stewie, unintentional. They just got tangled up, but she hit the deck pretty hard.
Yeah, so the ball tripped her up, and then she just landed smack on her chest there, and probably did get the wind knocked out of her a little bit. But she's running fine now. Wheeler has it, ball tipped away by Sue. And how about Talbot with the hustle there? Almost creates the turnover, rather. And it's saved by Zowie B. Inside 5 minutes in the second quarter. Zowie B hurls up another 3, no good. That's her second miss from behind the arc. Breanna off to the races. Crossover dribble. Ooh, pretty good defense it looked like there from Girantes, but they're going to get her on the foul. Arella Garantes, the rookie out of Rutgers. Looked like she got a lot of basketball. Let's take a look at this, Elise.
Well, trying to size up Stewie. Yeah, you can see why she's upset. I think maybe some anticipation by the official moving full speed ahead.
Yeah.
But Seattle just put so much pressure on you. And, you know, I had a coach one time say, okay, what's the fastest way from baseline to baseline? Who's going to win that race? And people started running, and he took the ball and he threw it to the other end, because moving the ball through the air and over the pass is way faster than dribbling. And that's what Seattle does. Sue Bird with the kick ahead got it to Brianna, and it just was space. It's 3-on-3 at that point. They don't have numbers, but in space, Brianna Stewart is just extremely dangerous.
Garantes with it. Inside Zowie B. Nicely done there. Back cutting Sykes. Is that a zone there by Seattle? Because it looked like a zone breaker offense.
Well, in space, it's really tough if you're not exactly matched up. The quick ball movement that time for LA. They're such a one-on-one type of team, but that time it was the ball moving crisply.
Talbot looked like she maybe shuffled the feet there, got away with it. Brianna Stewart kicks it over to Lloyd. That's going to go off of Jewell. That's turnover number 6 on Seattle.
So right here, high-low against a zone, a 3-2 zone is what Seattle originally matches up with. But when the ball goes into that high spot, it puts all kind of pressure on the defense when it gets to the middle of the floor.
Coffey looking for Sykes. She's posting up on Sue's got a good matchup there. Skip pass over the top, Garantes. Crossover dribble. The rookie fires it up from 20. No good. Tipped around. Zowie B, the offensive board put back. No. And those are the buckets that LA needs to have. I mean, they're going to have to get. You're going to beat Seattle. At minimum, you got to get to 80. You probably have to get to 85. And they're 19 right now. They need point-blank layups to go in.
Well, I tell you, Seattle really was extended defensively. They were moving, they were working really hard. They just couldn't finish it with a box out down low.
The teams that have beaten Seattle this year have done it with 95, 87, 96, and then that ugly 1-point 68-67 game against Dallas. That's the only time that it hasn't been a high-scoring game. 13-point cushion for the Storm as all 5 starters are back on the floor for Seattle. Russell now to Sue. Brianna crossover. Ball gets poked free. This is what LA does so well. Scrappy on that basketball. Russell with 4 seconds left to Jewell. 3 ball on the way with 1. Back iron. There's Russell right there for the rebound. Kicks it back to Sue. That one's long as well. Tip up by Jewell Lloyd. Nicely done there, and she draws contact.
Seattle outworking LA on that possession. But boy, Brianna Stewart was left wide open early in this possession. After the rebound, they kick it out to Sue Bird, just long. And Jewell Lloyd is there. She had that game clincher.
That's what that reminded me of right there.
The game clincher going up against Atlanta 2 games ago.
She missed the shot originally and then went just like that, tipped it back up and in for the game winner.
And if Jewell Lloyd would have gone up and grabbed that offensive board with 2 hands, it would right now be baseline out of bounds.
Right.
And instead she gets the 2 free throws because she's in the act of shooting when you're tipping it in.
And she's a career 90% free throw shooter, so that's just about as good as 2 points every time.
She will take it.
Back to 15. Seattle's biggest lead was 17. Wheeler gets stripped of the ball, but the foul is going to go on Sue Bird. And the Hall of Famer doesn't like it.
That's one of those that, if it's unintentional or not, and I'm not sure if Wheeler ever did really get tangled up with either Sue or I think it was Mercedes in that trap. She tried to split the trap, lost her footing. If her foot is not connecting with the defense, then that's just a turnover, and that's what I think what Sue Bird was trying to say. I could not tell if their feet, but if she trips on Sue Bird's foot, even though if Sue is just standing there, that will be a foul in the rule book.
Nobody in foul trouble for Seattle. Brianna has 2, and that's it. Sykes has 3 for Los Angeles, and she is once again out of the basketball game. And it has just been tough for LA to score and stop. Seattle from scoring without Brittany Sykes on the floor. And a violation there gives it back to Seattle in a 14-point game.
Well, 3 minutes to go here in this second quarter. You've got Sue, Stewie, Jewel all on the floor right now. They want to try to push this and break this game open. Slip screen by Brianna. She pops to the corner. Jewel runs it up. A little flat on that shot. Garantes with the rebound. Zowie Bean out of Wheeler. Gets to the corner. Nicely reversed. Good shooter over there. That's Samuelson. No. Tipped around, and Zowie B gets the rebound. And again, there's 4 points she's left on the board up there that she has not been able to put in on the and ones. Could be much closer than it is. 36-22 our score. 2:31 left in the half. Seattle led the Sparks 23-9 at the end of the first quarter by virtue of a 19-4 run. LA has done a pretty nice job holding serve here in the second quarter. It's 13-13, but overall, Elise, 8 turnovers for Los Angeles, 8 made field goals. You're not going to win any basketball games with as many turnovers as made field goals. And if you're LA, there's one thing that you can't do when you're already short so many bodies, 4 players out injured. You can't have players get into foul trouble, and Sykes with 3 personals. She's on the bench, and now Garantes also has 2, and she's been really good defensively, kind of creating some havoc. She's had some matchups with Brianna Stewart, and so she's got 2, so she's gonna have to be a little bit careful as well. Zowie B now 3 of 3 from the free throw line. She leads all LA scores with 8 points right now. LA 28 of 29 from now, make it 29 of 30 in these 2 games so far versus Seattle. They cannot miss hardly. And they need them. They need every single one of them to stay with this team. Here's Samuelson guarded by her sister. Now Sue hesitates, tries baseline, tries to force feed Mercedes Russell, but stepping in front is Carly Samuelson. You can see Sue Bird just kind of roll her eyes. That window to get it in the middle closed quickly. She was frustrated she couldn't deliver that. Wheeler now to Samuelson. Zowie B directing traffic from the post, saying, no, get it back to Erica. She does, and for good reason. Erica takes it right to the window and finishes with the right hand. It's a 10-point game. It's as close as LA has been since the early stages of the second quarter. There's Brianna with it. Reverses to Sue. Loves that spot on the wing. Misses that one, however. Yeah, good job of getting out to affect that shot by Garantes. She's done a nice job defensively, slowing down some of Seattle's better players. Zowie B to Samuelson. Over the corner. Bria Holmes, 3-ball, no. LA now 1 of 9 from 3-point range. Lloyd has it with 1:15 left in the half. Backing in on Wheeler, firing it up and drawing the foul. That's just a savvy veteran move right there. She knows that Wheeler's kind of hanging on her a little bit, so she's going to initiate the contact with that jump shot. Erica Wheeler does the same thing on the other end, and it's smart. If you're a physical guard and you don't mind taking some shots, taking that contact, you're going to earn yourself trips to the free throw line. And certainly Jewel, as you mentioned before, a 90% free throw shooter almost. It's just about automatic. So you want to make sure that you put the ball in the hands of Jewel Lloyd and tell her to go to work. Well, you mentioned the free throw clinic by LA. Seattle not bad either. 16 of 17 on Sunday. 13 of 13 today. That's 29 of 30 for the Storm. These 2 teams can't miss from the stripe. Zowie B dumping it low to Wheeler. Sue on her. Samuelson tries to sneak it and does get a hand on the basketball and tips it to her teammate. Here comes Birdie. High post Russell tries to feed it again, and Seattle's been a little sloppy in the half court trying to force feed balls in there. Seattle not a high turnover team. Samuelson 3 on the way, and they get it to go. It's just the second of the game for Los Angeles and the first for Carly. Now this LA Sparks team is just pesky. Get in the lane between Coffee. He's had some good moments. Sue 3 on the way. That's in and out. Katie Lou Samuelson beats her sister for the basketball, and Seattle gets to re-rack. 9-second differential here. Good job tracking that down to earn another possession by Samuelson. Crossover Jewel. Kick over, extra pass, and we've got a whistle. Is that going to be an offensive foul inside on Jewel?
It is.
You can see Jewell Loyd pleading her case, going up to the official. And this is what LA does. They love to clog the paint, and they want to invite you in there and then draw charges. And we'll see. Feet have to be outside of the circle. You need to be set. And that's just a total flop. Jewell Loyd had completely stopped moving. So we saw this on Sunday. LA is looking for calls, and they're going to get some. They're going to earn some by flopping. So you got to be careful when you go in the lane. But that one was one where Jewell Loyd couldn't have done much to avoid that. She completely stopped her momentum.
20-second timeout by Derek Fisher there to draw something up. And this is a pivotal possession here for him and the Sparks. I mean, they have clawed their way back to single digits. They can cut it to 6 or 7 and have, and I think he'd feel really good, especially with Brittany Sykes being in foul trouble the whole half.
Well, I don't think there's a question that Seattle looks up at the scoreboard and feels like they've left some points on the board. They've had some open looks that have not dropped, but I do give credit for LA for some of those misses. They don't just put their hand down and give up a 3 on rotation. They're running out and trying to affect the shot. I think just enough to throw Seattle off a little bit. And then they're pesky and they're in your face, and they're physical guards that have forced some turnovers here in the second quarter to get back in this thing. And you give up a shot here with 9 seconds to go, and all of a sudden the momentum squarely on LA's side heading into intermission.
Let's take a look at the numbers from Sunday's win for Seattle, 84-74. Breanna Stewart leading the way with 21 points, but how about Ezzy's day? 20 points, 9 rebounds, a 28-16 fourth quarter for Seattle, which featured a burst in that game of 30-9 if you include the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. There was a nice run by for Seattle to just close the door on the LA Sparks after really a miserable third quarter. The worst third quarter we've seen, maybe the worst quarter overall we've seen by Seattle was that third quarter on Sunday. They haven't had a very good second quarter here, but it wasn't as bad as the third quarter was on Sunday. Here's Wheeler. Ball stripped away. Coffey from 16 at the buzzer. No, rebounded by Breanna Stewart, and Seattle dodges a bit of a bullet there at the end of the half.
Nearly gets her forced steal and then rushes down to get the rebound. She just is everywhere on the floor.
Wonderful basketball by Breanna Stewart. 11 points on 3 of 6 shooting, going 4 rebounds. Noelle Quinn joins us here at halftime. Noelle, let's start with the good. Let's start with that first quarter. You guys came out with a lot of defensive intensity and really sharing the basketball well.
Yeah, you know, that's the name of the game, especially with this team. They have their guard heavy. Their guards attack going downhill, so we have to make sure we're containing, limit them to 1 shot, and get out and run, space, move the ball, and hit open shots.
No, you now have 10 turnovers in the first half. I know that was key for you, not giving it up. Is there anything you can do to clean that up specifically?
Yeah, definitely do our work early. They're denying us, so pressure releases and back cuts. Get in triple threat, really, and just square up and then attack it.
Thanks, Coach. We'll talk to you later.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thanks, Coach.
38-29 our score. Seattle, not with a very good second quarter, but their first quarter was so good, leading 23-9, that they were able to get that 9-point lead here at halftime. We're back with our statistics, our halftime highlights as well. We come back from Everett. Seattle 38, LA 29. Let's take a look at the best records in the WNBA. It is going to be a dogfight for the rest of the season. Maybe a 3-team dogfight, but at least a 2-team between Las Vegas and Seattle, Elise.
Well, I also think there's going to be a lot of changes after the Olympic break when some people get healthy and when some are back with their squad. We've had a lot of changes, but Emma Meesman going back with Washington, that should be a big boost for them. And it's going to be interesting. And you see that 6 losses, 7 losses, 2 teams with 9 losses, everybody just kind of bunched up. There's going to be a lot of movement, and it should be really exciting to see who it winds up in the postseason.
And 4 of those 5 teams from the West. And Breanna Stewart, who's been the Western Conference Player of the Month and the Western Conference Player of the Week 3 times, playing like it tonight, but not in volume, Elise. She only has 6 shots. She's 3 of 6, but it seems like every time she touches it, something good happens. She's got 11 points, 4 rebounds. She's a steal away from her career high in steals.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of really good things. Just LA is making sure that there is a body applying pressure wherever Breanna Stewart is. And they've done a nice job. I think Coffey has done a good job, and so has Girantes. So they've just been doing good job, but you know what? Nobody holds down Brianna Stewart for too long.
3 steals for Brianna. Her record is 4. And there's a high post backdoor play right there that did not work for Seattle out of the halftime break. Wheeler swings it to Zowie B. Back cut. Sykes runs right into Samuelson, and it's a turnover.
And that's what you want to do defensively. You make them throw the backdoor pass. That's the counter, and then the weak side rotation is there, and it's just a really tough completion. It's coming across the middle in traffic with a safety flashing in front of you. It's hard.
Seattle's 11 field goals in the first half. That is their season low. So how about that? They're up 9, and yet they have a season low in field goals. Russell. Back out Samuelson. Big 1-2. Here's Brianna trying to get things going in the second half. Can't do it. A little short.
And that's a shot that she will make most of the time. Good job getting into the lane under control by Samuelson.
Wheeler. Now the switch with Russell. Keeps the dribble. Back to Samuelson up top. Coffey. Sue is fronting Brittany Sykes down there. Here's Samuelson with 6. Nice help by Jewel Lloyd forcing the tough shot, but they're going to say that sister got sister there on the arm. Katie Lou fouling Carly there. The Samuelson battle right now being won by Carly. She has an opportunity to get up to 5 right now. She is 1 of 3 overall, 1 of 2 from 3-point range, and 3 rebounds. Katie Lou is scoreless on 0 of 1 with 2 boards.
Carly, of course, staying in the state of California, the Huntington Beach products. They both went to Mater Dei. Katie Lou heading all the way over to UConn, teaming up for that national championship with Brianna Stewart. And then Carly going to Stanford, playing for the legend Tara Vanderveer.
Jewel with it. Russell comes out, try to help on the screen. Back to Birdie. Pull up from 16. She hasn't quite got it going yet. This one's off the mark. Zowie B comes down with the rebound. Sue 1 of 6 from the field. She's got 3 points.
Yeah, she's had some tough rolls.
Oh, nicely done there, Sue. To the outletting Jewel Lloyd. She's going to coast in, lay it up and miss it. She was right in front of the hoop, which is tough. She wasn't able to use the window. And there's a pick by Katie Lou. She will go in and score. And fouled? No foul. I thought for sure there'd be a whistle there, but there wasn't.
Katie Lou looking up, the crowd getting on their feet and whistling.
Noelle.
I thought there was a whistle from the ref, but it was just the crowd's excitement.
And Noelle Quinn is having a conversation with the officials right now. Pull up Wheeler, back iron, rebound Katie Lou. She's come out and provided some energy here in the first couple minutes. Jewel the crossover, pull up. She loves that shot, can't get it to go though.
And Seattle just is ice cold from 3. 3 of 12 in this game. They shoot 40% on average. They're one of the best in the entire league.
And a couple games removed from a 14 of 22 from 3-point range performance. Here's Sykes with it. Oh, she got Sue down, and that one's off the mark. Never want to see somebody twist like that, but you just see the flexibility of Sue Bird. She is unfazed. Skip over the top. Katie Lou muscling her way through her sister, but the offensive foul. Katie Lou gives a shoulder. I bet that has happened a few times in Huntington Beach on the playground.
I'm sure. They played one-on-one, first time playing against each other. Here's Katie Lou getting out. Any contact here, hard to tell on that replay, but you saw the ball go in the hoop, which is the main thing. Getting out, creating offense with that defense, reading the lane, and going the distance for one of the easiest baskets that you're going to see.
Seattle's had only 1 made field goal in almost a quarter, the 6:33 mark of the second. So it is borderline miraculous and a testament to Seattle's defense that they are still up 9, having basically gone a quarter without a field goal. Or with 1 field goal, rather, the one that they just got.
Well, they at one point led by 17, but this LA team, they did the same thing on the 4th of July in their first matchup a few days ago, and they just were able to steady the ship and then keep it close. And right now, pending this free throw, it could be a 7-point game with plenty of time.
And it is. Stewart looking inside to Brianna Stewart. She's got good post position. The double comes, and it comes a little late in the form of Zowie B. And the foul will send Brianna Stewart to the free throw line, where she's 4 of 4. She and Jewel have combined for 10 of 10 from the free throw line.
Just the first foul on Coffey, and she's been very physical. She's been flying around. She's had some nice moments defensively against Stewart.
Derek Fisher looking on. This team has not had the best injury luck this year. In fact, one of the worst injury-riddled teams all season, which has seriously contributed to their 6-11 record. And seriously contributed to the fact they only have 33 points in this game. They are just missing so much offensive firepower. Tolliver, Agumake. Sykes with it. Working on Lloyd. Here comes Russell to get a hand in there. 3-ball by Coffey. That one's badly missed. Great box out by Jewel Lloyd, keeping Sykes away from the basketball. Jewel sweep and go. Kick it to Sue. She's got Brianna up top. Instead of the catch and shoot, floats into the free throw line and snaps it home. Brianna Stewart now 4 of 8, 15 points, by far the leading scorer in this game.
But that spacing is what created that. They took the ball from one end of the floor, or one side of the floor, to the other, and the defense had to shift, and that left Stewie with room to work.
With the way LA's offense is, they cannot afford to get down much more than they already are, because they just don't have the firepower. Bird with it. Stewie trying to add to that lead. Can't do it front iron.
Now the Storm now just 3 of 13 from deep.
And a timeout taken by Derek Fisher. I think he realizes this is a pretty pivotal stretch here. If he can keep this to in that 7, 8, 9 range, he feels like he's got a chance. But it goes to 15, 16, and it might be over. It's 11 right now. 44-33. Let's get into the mind, Elise, of Derek Fisher right now as we take a look at Seattle Seahawks superstar DK Metcalf in the house. The second game he's come to in the last week. He's loving his Storm.
Well, I'll tell you, they were having him do the flex cam, and I think everybody was like, all right, DK, let's see what you got. He's the one guy that can definitely flex in the, yeah, there you go. I don't think the, I don't think the air-filled barbell is quite enough for DK.
What's D. Fish talking about in that huddle right now? Because this is really feels like a make or break 3 or 4 minutes for LA if they're going to stay in this game.
Well, I think for Derek, the one thing right now they're doing really well is being disruptive defensively and just not giving anything easy to Seattle. They're 3 of 13 from 3, so continue to play that defense, fly around, be physical, jump on those loose balls, and then they've got to find a way to get going offensively. And you know, that seems like when LA went on that run in the third quarter on Sunday, it was with turnovers, getting out and running. So if they could get up and even apply more pressure, it's tough though because Seattle takes care of the ball.
Sykes has got to get going. It's been a frustrating night for her, and she goes to the window and is a little strong. I mean, it's tough for her to have any rhythm at all because she's been out so much. She's only played 12 minutes, and it's kind of been herky-jerky minutes. You know, 4 here, 4 more there, 4 more here.
And she is definitely a difference maker. Had 19 points in that matchup on Sunday. Hard to take her off the floor. This time it's Wheeler getting into the lane again to draw the foul.
Wheeler also had 19. That was a very good guard tandem that kept Los Angeles into the game really until about there was 6 or 7 minutes left to go. And LA had an 8-point lead in that game in the third quarter. But since then, Seattle has outscored LA by over 20 points.
And their defense has been good on Sue Bird. Sue Bird has had a couple of looks that just didn't drop, rolled in and out. But Sue just 1 of 6 today, 1 of 4 from 3, but 2 assists as well. So she's not been able to do the kind of things we are accustomed to from Sue Bird.
Oh, the backdoor cut by Lloyd. Gets her own rebound after the nice pass from Brianna. Talbot, #1 in the league in 3-point shooting. There you go. 50% on the year for Stephanie Talbot.
And that one was deep, well beyond the line. And she just was no hesitation whatsoever and gets it to go.
And there's a steal from Sue. She's got Jewel on her left. She's going to circle back around. Wheeler thought she walked with the basketball, gave a quizzical look to the ref. Brianna way off on that one. Forced up shot early in the shot clock.
And again, but not an open field goal attempt. Coffey right there, applying that pressure to Stewie even after that live ball turnover.
Wheeler against Lloyd. Now Sykes pulls up on Talbot. That one's short. Sykes just searching right now. She kind of yells at herself as she backpedals across the timeline. 2 of 5, 4 points for Brittany after that 19-point performance on Sunday. Talbot inside. Brianna Stewart gets a shot blocked by Zowie B. Nice defense by Los Angeles. So the LAD is coming to play tonight. They just need some offense to go with that defense.
Yeah, that time taking a swipe at it, definitely disrupting Stewie's shot.
Zowie B traveled. I mean, I was like, wait a second, that's 2 pivot feet. There is no question about that at all. She was very solid on the other end, though, with the block shot of Brianna Stewart.
And you see the arm around the waist of Brianna Stewart saying, you're not going anywhere. The referees, I think, missed that one, but the physical presence down low and in the lane. Noah Quinn talked before the game about how LA clogs the lane and they make it tough. There's no open seams where you get open looks at the hoop. Even here, right here with Jewel, right at another defender, but she gets it to go.
Beautifully done by Jewel Lloyd there. Lloyd with 12 points on just 3 of 9. She struggled from the field, but she's getting hers right now.
But even when you get in the lane, she's tumbling to the deck. There's another defender there. LA has done a nice job limiting one of the best offenses in the WNBA.
Wheeler going to use her quickness to cross over Ezzie and knock down a 3 ball. Ezzie had to respect the quickness on the drive, so she had to lay off that 3, and Wheeler took advantage. Brianna, nice feed. Great catch by Ezzie. Can't get it to go, but that was a heck of a catch. She had Velcro in her hands. Oh, picked off by Jordan Canada. Back to Lloyd. Easy as you please, 17-footer, but misses. Ooh, body's loose on the deck, all over the place. You got Sykes down. You got Brianna down. Ezzie's down. Everybody's down.
Still no call yet. No, it looks like it will be just out of bounds.
I think that's the right call there. that was bowling pins. 7-10 split right there.
Basketball definitely a contact sport. There is no doubt about it.
You tell me you got a few bruises there at the University of Washington?
Oh, yeah.
Take a few elbows in your day. Here's
it's
Wheeler.
Always from the big post players.
Indeed. Here's Wheeler with a rainbow, and look out, back to a 9-point game. So Fisher keeping his team hungry on D, and that's what's keeping them close.
And that's what they need, Wheeler or Sykes, one of them to start going off.
Well, that's about as bad a D as we've seen all half from Los Angeles. Talbot goes right to the window.
And just good patient take, left hand, waiting for the weak side defense that never arrived, and so she just went all the way to the rim.
Wheeler with 7 on the clock against Lloyd. Step back, gives it off Samuelson. Lets it go. Oh, and the follow through by Stephanie Talbot, and 3 free throws as Carly Samuelson can cut it to 8 here.
Yeah, that's just a foul that you want back immediately. Long 3, tough shot. And you know what's really easy? Going to the free throw line unguarded for 3.
So these will be the 16th, 17th, and 18th free throws for LA. They only have 12 field goals. They're going to have 33% more free throw attempts than they will field goal makes. And then Seattle has got 15 free throws made and 16 field goals. So it's kind of been a bizarre night, and it's mainly because of just poor shooting. And Samuelson, speaking of poor shooting, it's as many free throws as LA's missed all game. It's half of them right there. They'd only missed 4 for the game.
Those 2 rimming out from a pure shooter. It's the 3rd one to go.
Those are big points LA needs. Canada with it. The Jewel. Brianna comes with another big pick. She has been setting some monster screens.
The physical play, though, just getting her off the block.
As he drives in, the big 1-2, floats it up. That one's short, rebound Zowie B. Wheeler attacking Canada, going right to the window, scoop and score. It's an 8-point game.
LA just hanging around right now.
Like they did in the third quarter on Sunday before Seattle just put the pedal to the metal in the fourth and ran away from it. And that was a nice turnaround by Jewell Loyd there, making it a 10-point game. Jewell's got 14.
Another tough shot by Seattle. That one made by Jewell Loyd, but just LA continues to put pressure and make every look hard for Seattle.
Holmes against Brianna Stewart. Samuelson goes around Talbot, kick back out, wide open Holmes there. That one's missed, and those have got to go down if you're Derek Fisher.
Yeah, that was a bit of a knuckleball off the hand of Holmes.
Oh, this could be a 6-point swing. No, we got a blocking foul, as in the restricted area was Cooper, or else it would have been a charge because Canada came in there like a wrecking ball.
The thing is, you have to be set outside of the semicircle. Yeah, feet clearly on the line. And you see the official point down to the line. It's an easy decision for the official on that one.
So Jewell steps out. In comes Epiphany Prince. And she comes out firing right away, in and out. You can tell she's feeling it right now because she had those 19 points there, quick shot there, 19 points on Sunday, and it already hit a 3 in the first half of this one. Cooper with 13 left on the game clock, 2-second differential against Canada. Tries to fight her way around a Zowie B screen. Samuelson for 3, back iron. Offensive rebound. Need to put back quickly. She has no idea there's 1 second left on the clock. Should have shot it, and instead, Garantes passed it up, and that will end the third quarter of play. Derek Fisher and his LA Sparks down 10. See what they can do in the first few minutes of the fourth. 53-43 our score going into the fourth quarter, and at least this game would be over if it wasn't for Erica Wheeler. 6 of 8 from the field. 18 points for LA. She's keeping them in it offensively.
Yeah, nobody else has more than 9, and that's a Zowie B. The Wheeler is having some success with that mid-range jumper. She's done a good job defensively, gotten out and had some live ball turnover buckets in transition. So she's kind of done it on both ends of the floor, creating opportunities for herself. And she's also bothered Sue Bird a little bit. Sue, in her 19 minutes, just hasn't really been able to get cooking yet. She's 1 of 6.
So Derek Fisher is going to give almost his entire starting 5 a breather here. So let's see how the bench for Los Angeles handles these first 3 minutes or so without the starters in there. Boy, that is a forearm shiver. That has got to be offensive. And it will be. My goodness, that was a forearm extended right into the chest of Stephanie Talbot.
Right here, Stephanie moving her feet, and you can see the force of it, pushing her all the way back and landing on the deck.
Fouls on Bria Holmes. So let's keep an eye on what the score becomes without these LA starters in. And Seattle has only 1 starter in themselves with Katie Lou. That one's off the mark. Offensive rebound. Jordan Canada can't go, but there's the tip by Ezzy. Still fighting for it. 13 on the shot clock. Here's Prince now. Back out Talbot. Talbot 3 on the way. Hit one earlier. This one's in and out.
And that one probably would have gone down. The pass, though, not hit right on her target. She had fumbled it just enough, and the defense able to recover to Talbot. That's a missed opportunity for Seattle with 3 shots at point-blank range.
So 1 starter in the game for either team. Prince has it now. Crossover dribble. Holmes gets back on her. Katie Lou against Cooper. Drops a pass to Prince into the corner. Good look for Talbot from 15. That one's off the mark. Ezzy keeps it alive. Ezzy's hungry down there for the basketball. We're going to have a tie-up. There's 4 people. It looks like it's going to be Katie Lou and someone, probably Holmes.
I think Ezzy was in the area too, and if you're Ezzy, you want to walk up and do that jump ball.
Exactly, get in the circle real quick.
Look at this physical play down low, though. Jordan Canada just trying to find a way, a little window, and then hands there, kicking it out. And Seattle just has not had any easy open looks today. It's been tough sledding against this physical LA defense, which has proven this throughout the whole season. That is their MO.
The LA calling card, because they know they're shorthanded. They're not going to score 85 points a game. They got to beat you in the 70s. Prince to Canada. He's got a great look at three. That one's off the mark. Talbot trying to keep it alive. Seattle just eating up those offensive rebounds here in the last couple sequences. Talbot now spinning his Ezzy, and Talbot leads her a little bit too far. That's the 13th turnover for the Storm, and this could be the 16th point, and it is 16 points off turnovers. So with that shot, LA's got more points off turnovers in this game than they did all last game. We still got 8 minutes left.
Yeah, this is danger zone. LA is feeling it. It's been their pace. It's been their style. Seattle's having a hard time finding the bucket.
So who's the first team to blink here and put their starters back in?
Seattle down to 33% field goal shooting.
Yeah, it's been a really bad shooting game, and a lot of that has been because of this. It's been this type of defense from Los Angeles, and they certainly have the momentum right now. Second personal on a piff. The worst field goal shooting game of the season for Seattle. That Dallas game was bad, 34%. They're under that right now, so they are on pace for their worst field goal shooting game of the season. And a turnover by Los Angeles brings Canada at a full sprint. She throws it away. The big 1-2, layup by Coffey, no. Tip back to Nia. She'll get it again and score. Timeout Noelle Quinn, and I got a feeling she's going to blink first and get some of those starters back in, because the bench is not doing it right now, and the LA Sparks have chopped a 10-point deficit at the end of the third in half here with 7:19 left. 53-48. Back for the final 7:19 after this. Welcome back. 53-48. The bench war won by the LA Sparks in the first 3 minutes of this one. But Erica Wheeler, before she sat out, was really, really solid at the end of the third, Elise.
Yeah, she gave them the spark they needed, the only spark in double figures. She's got 18, and you see her just shooting from deep, taking it to the hole, going left, going right, and making an impact. Seattle in this fourth quarter, it's less than 3 minutes. They're 0 of 6 with 3 turnovers. So LA closing the gap. Seattle led by 17 earlier.
And here's Talbot right out of the timeout with a bucket, drawn up nicely by Noelle Quinn, and much, much needed. Up by 7 now.
Yeah, the ATO to perfection by Noelle Quinn, and the Storm getting the layup. They've had few of those in this game.
Here's the step back, Arantes. She's had a nice game when she's been in there. Hasn't played a ton, but has produced a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists, and that bucket there.
You just look how they are all close enough to touch, getting in the face, waving their arms, no space.
Oh, Jewel Lloyd. She makes some room, though, doesn't she?
Well, that's why it was so key. She missed that game on Sunday, and the Storm able to get a win. But against this overplaying aggressive defense, Jewel Lloyd has the antidote.
Jewel now the leading scorer for Seattle, passing up Breanna Stewart. She's got 16. Durantes coming in on Jewel Lloyd. Fans didn't like that one. I don't think you did either.
No, I think that was vertical. The key there is if you maintain vertical position, your hands are straight up. If the defense is set and the offense jumps into you, that's the offensive foul. So Jewel Lloyd looked like she was trying to avoid the foul, remaining straight up. We'll see here. Does she lean into her at all? Maybe the left hand came down and broke the vertical plane. And her right arm staying straight up, but if her left hand comes down, that's a foul. You got to keep them straight up. It's one of those that you reach down and then you feel the contact, you put them straight up. You
exactly.
show the official.
Look, I was up.
But the official noticing that left arm come down, and that was the right call.
Back to 5. It's tied for the closest LA has been since the early stages of this basketball game. I'm talking about midway through the first stages of this basketball game.
See, and that's a hold.
They're going to call an offensive foul. Talbot wants a flop, but didn't get it.
Sykes, just again, the suffocating pressure. This is what they do to force that turnover, and she's so good defensively, but she's hanging on to Talbot around the screen and doesn't give her any space to curl, and instead it's Talbot picking up the foul, and that's how LA wins games, just like that. And they're in this one right now with just under 6 to go.
Durante's working on Talbot again. Talbot with the spike out of bounds, kind of gives her a little bit of glare, saying, yeah, I didn't like the call on me on the other end. I'm going to send this one out.
This is just in-your-face defense, sliding your feet, not fouling, and then timing it. You expose the ball, and she's sending that one out.
Wheeler getting double-teamed over there. Seattle goes back to their zone. And a 3 on the way with no time left on this shot clock. And LA got one of those in the 3rd quarter of the last game on Sunday. That rattler at the shot clock buzzer. They get this one to go, and it's a 2-point game. Talbot feeding it inside. Another turnover on Seattle. Coffee for the lead. No. Oh, my goodness.
Seattle right now shooting 35%. They're 4 of 17 from 3. It's just an uncharacteristic shooting percentage. But again, just look at this defense. All the way out to midcourt, pestering Jewell Loyd.
And another turnover there. That's 18 for the, 18 for the game. That is the most turnovers for Seattle all season long. Their prior high was 17 way back on May the 20th. And Seattle now has committed 59 turnovers over the last 4 games. So that is something that, even though they've been winning, they need to clean up, because that has not been the way they've operated most of the season.
Well, Subert not happy with that exchange. Jewell Loyd goes to the deck, trying to split the double team, no call. And then the other way, Sue chasing the ball, and she gets called for the foul. So 2 Storm team fouls, 0 LA fouls in the 4th quarter.
Oh, as he spikes that away from Erica Wheeler. They're going to have to reset. Crowd goes wild here at Everett. Good crowd here on a midweek.
Well, another close game, a clutch game. Within 5 points, less than 5 minutes to go. Seattle has played their fair share of these and has been good in these clutch games. 4 overtime games for Seattle, where they're 3-1.
57 to 55. We're going to take 4:42 left to go in this one. We are going to take a break as well. It's a brand new ball game, folks. Stick around. 2:52. Why is that score different than when we went to break? Well, this is why it's different, Elise.
Well, you see here the shot clock winding down. Durante's calling for it, clapping her hands, but that is stuck on her hand, and that will be 3 points taken off the board in a close game. Less than 5 to go. All of a sudden, Seattle getting a boost from that, but LA right now playing with confidence. They were down by 17, and they've walked it all the way back to a 2-possession game.
Wheeler driving in on Canada and scores. Erica Wheeler has 20 after 19 on Sunday. She has put up 39 against the Storm in 2 games.
And that was an explosive take on the baseline. Weak side defense nowhere in the area because she was there so quickly. And look at that denial by Zowie B. Won't even let Seattle reverse the ball. They're all about spacing and timing, read and react. But LA is dictating where they go.
Jewell kick to Sue. Big 3 on the way. That's off the front iron. Can Seattle get it? Yes, they can. And they can work another 14. Canada driving in. There's finally, that is the first foul for LA this quarter, which is remarkable considering how handsy and aggressive they have been.
Well, and I think officials get lulled into it that, you know, a pressure aggressive team, and that's clearly a foul, Sykes. That'll be her 4th. She sat with those 2 personals in the 1st quarter, and it really affected LA.
And there's
but again,
another foul.
There's the hold where LA's so aggressive, and they're holding. This is part of their defense, and they do it very well. But the officials can't call all of them. And then sometimes they get in the thing, well, they're all kind of similar. They're holding, they're grabbing, they're physical, they're overplaying, and Seattle's got to adjust. They have to set harder screens. They have to backdoor harder and be more aggressive.
See, the legend Simone Augustus, the assistant coach for LA, giving the officials an earful after that last call. 4 on the shot clock for Ezzy, just runs out of room, and that's a turnover on Seattle, number 19. in the game.
And you saw her put the ball on the deck. 3 white jerseys in the paint. They clog up that paint, and yet at the same time, they're able to extend pressure. This team has bothered Seattle as much as anyone so far this season. They have made Seattle uncomfortable, and they have made them miss shots. They are just 4 of 18 from deep. That's just not like Seattle at all.
Well, Seattle only has 19 made field goals the whole game and 9 assists. Seattle's low on the season of assists is 16. They have 9 tonight. Here could be 10 right here. Ooh, off the mark. Brianna Stewart! I mean, that was go-go gadget arms going up and getting that one and putting it back in.
The quick reflex. That ball came off the rim quickly, and Stewie rose up, snatched it out of the air for a much-needed bucket.
Coffee with it, feeds Wheeler. LA needs a bucket here, and they get it from guess who? Erica Wheeler, 3-point game, approaching the 3-minute mark.
She is feeling it right now, wants to take this game over. 22 points on just 12 shots. Look at them fighting over that screen, and Seattle can't get an angle in the lane.
Canada driving in, beats Brianna. A lot of contact there, and there's the call. And Brianna Stewart will go to the free throw line. They didn't call that one. I mean, they weren't going to call any for the rest of the game.
But again, they won't let Stewie get that easy bucket to get rolling offensively. This is the miss, and look how it takes an odd bounce, like a bad hop to the shortstop, and Stewie just sticks that hand up, grabs it, and finishes it.
I think she had a button on her arm. She just pushed, and it gave her an extra foot. That was amazing.
She has a 7-foot wingspan, which is remarkable.
Big free throws here for Brianna. She knocks down the first. 2-possession lead now. Can Seattle get to comfort zone, which would be about 8-9 points would be comfort zone in this game? Or is LA just going to make everyone in this building sweat for the last 3 minutes?
Well, Noah Quinn puts Jordan Canada on Erica Wheeler here down the stretch. She got the bucket last possession. We'll see how Seattle reacts.
Sykes against Jewell forces it up and scores. And those guards from LA really cooking right now, even though Sykes has not had a great game.
No,
she is capable.
They haven't shot the ball well at all, but they're red hot here over the last 4 or 5 possessions.
Ezzy to Sue, 10 on the shot clock, trying to get it to Brianna down low, and she is getting held again. And now LA's starting to rack up the fouls. They had 0 at the 4:30 mark. They now have 4 at the 2:22 mark.
Well, Nia Coffey doesn't like it, but I'll tell you, she has done a fabulous job. Her physical play, I mean, she is making such an effort against Brianna Stewart, who's got that height advantage, but she's doing everything she can to disrupt one of the best players in the world.
Seattle going with the twin posts here, Ezzy and Brianna, and a turnover forced by Los Angeles again on Ezzy, and that will be 19 turnovers for Seattle. And LA scored 20 points off of them, and they score on 24% of the possessions off turnovers. Here's Sykes with it, kick it to the corner. Garantes thinks about it, now pulls the trigger up and in. And
have they missed?
They have been very, very solid here in the 4th quarter.
Just walking this down. A 17-point Seattle lead, now to 1.
They're 7 of 13 in the quarter after shooting well under 30, or actually exactly 30% in the first 3. This one's blocked out of bounds with 6 on the shot clock. Seattle up by 1 with 1:44 left, and Mercedes Russell has been out for quite a while. Will come back in. Mercedes only played 16 minutes tonight.
Well, Seattle loves to play pretty. They love to pop the ball around the horn, get wide open threes, get it to go, kick it inside, and LA has made them play ugly.
Oh, Brianna gets some space and one. She had a mouse in the house and got her off.
And Stewie again, the answer right here. Sue faking with her eyes, and it's Stewie with Erica Wheeler on the switch, executed to perfection on that out-of-bounds play. You set a hard screen against a pressure defense, and somebody's going to get open.
Wheeler giving up a whole lot of height. to Brianna Stewart, but Stewie misses, but Seattle gets the rebound. This could be a 4 or 5 point bone-crushing possession for Seattle. Stewie with 1 on the shot clock. There it is! And 1! Seattle up 5! Brianna Stewart's gonna get a 5-point play all by herself if she knocks this one down.
Well, that's what the 5th foul on LA. Finally, the tide turning for Stewie, and she's just taking over right now. She sizes her up, 1 big sweep, and then the pull-up, Jay. My goodness, that is unguardable, Stewie.
And you know what I love about what Seattle's doing here? This is such a scrappy LA team, and Seattle over the last 2 minutes has said, all right, you want to play like this? Is this how you want to play? You want to play scrappy and cratch and claw? We can do this too. And that's exactly what Brianna Stewart's done.
It seems like Stewie is the only one that has been able to free herself of this pressure. But you look at this, Coffey extended all the way out, hand in the face. That's a foul there as she sweeps through. And then here on the elbow, does Stewie get rid of it?
Yes, she does. This is going to be an and 1 opportunity for Brianna Stewart and a potential 6-point lead with 88 seconds left.
Well, we saw 3 points taken off the board.
How
for
big
LA.
was that? Yeah.
Huge. And now we go down to the wire with the shot clock winding down. And just in the nick of time, Stewie getting it off for the 3-point play.
Because LA got up to the point where they almost climbed all the way back to the top of the mountain, but they never took the lead. And maybe if that 3-pointer would have stayed on the board, maybe LA would have had the lead. And then all of a sudden, the feeling in the building is just, oh my God, we lost the lead here. How is that possible? But that never happened.
Yeah, it is a psychological thing. When you are up big, 17 points in the first half and cruising, and then you get walked down like that, you start playing in a panic mode. You felt a little panic mode from Seattle in this game against LA, and it's their defense forcing you to be quicker than you want to be and to go to spots on the floor you don't want to be.
Must have possession for Brittany Sykes here. Turns around and gets it. That's exactly what LA needed, a quick bucket. Didn't have to be a 3 at that point because there was still 70 seconds on the clock.
Well, Stewie's been red hot. Find a way to get her the ball.
There she is with it against Coffey. Picks it up back to Sue. Tipped away. Now Sue's got an advantage. Back to Brianna for the dagger. Boom! 69-62. Brianna Stewart has put her team on her back.
She's got 27 with 11 boards. The 3 steals. She's been everywhere.
Sykes nearly travels. Sue tries to get it. Here's Wheeler. They got to have this or this ball game's over. Wheeler loses handle of it, out of bounds. Ooh, looked like it was last touched by Seattle. Brianna wants it reviewed, and they will take a look at this. I'm not so sure that she just didn't entirely lose this basketball and carry it with her out of bounds.
Well, I'll tell you, this is a massive outburst from Brianna Stewart. We've seen it, but you just cannot take it for granted. The level that she can get to is just all-star, superstar, best player in the world when she gets it, and she has been that way here in the 4th quarter. This is Wheeler.
Mercedes Russell did not touch the basketball.
Yeah, this is Wheeler just losing control of the ball. Let's see.
It was touched originally by Canada here, but now watch. Wheeler just throws it up in the air.
And does it hit her elbow potentially right there? Does it hit Mercedes Russell elbow potentially? I think that is the only way this will not be Seattle basketball. Watch her elbow right there. Does it hit it? Hard to tell on that angle. And the good news for Seattle is there's just 3 on the shot clock regardless. Make it 2, I believe, by the time the ball landed out of bounds.
Brianna Stewart, Elise, within the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds, has put up the last 12 Storm points.
Yeah, she's been on an absolute tear. When this team was on the ropes and LA had all the momentum, it was a superstar, and you could see the way that she just aggressively swept through the defense, went hard to the boards, and the look on her face was like, we're not losing this one. I don't know if she's thinking about that extra cash in the Commissioner's Cup. I'm sure that doesn't hurt, but I mean, she just took this game over and extended this lead now 7 for Seattle here with 40 seconds to go.
Breanna Stewart's got 27 points, 11 rebounds. And, you know, we mentioned in the third quarter, it's like we said, hey, Breanna's had a good game, but she hasn't had a volume game. She only had 6 field goal attempts in the first half, but she has put this team on her back. Get off me, she says to Erica Wheeler.
And I love that reaction from Stewie. She is usually pretty stoic, but that one, she's like tired of getting held, tired of getting grabbed, tired of seeing her team get walked down, and she says, it's my time to shine, and right in the face of Nia Coffey, who's played a really good game defensively on Stewie. Hasn't let her out of her sights, but even with that, Stewie's got 27 points and 11 boards. And I will say, for players, you want to get going, you get to the foul line. Stewie has gotten to the foul line today 10 times. She's knocked down 9. You want to get going, go hit the offensive boards. One of those 12 or 2 of the 12 points in this run for Stewie was just getting to the O boards and rising above everybody to grab the ball. You can create your own points at times when you need a bucket, when you're a superstar like Stewart.
Well, it's got to be frustrating for any coach watching this, trying to figure out how to beat Seattle, because Derek Fisher did the right thing. Let's try to muddy this game. Let's turn it into a blue-collar, nasty basketball game, and Seattle's going to end up winning it likely even despite that.
Yeah, Seattle averages 88 points per game. They have yet to hit 70.
And there's a foul, hard foul, but not a cheap foul by Erica Wheeler. Just a hard foul will send Jewell Loyd to the free throw line, and she can make this a 9-point game. And this game may end up on the scoreboard looking like it was comfortable.
It was interesting they waited till 13 seconds left on the shot clock to foul.
I mean, seconds are right now just as important as points for Derek Fisher, and they waited a long time to foul.
If there's one player that you want to see, well, Seattle has a lot of them. but
Jewell
Loyd,
she's a top 10 free throw shooter in WNBA history. He is not who you want to put on the line if you're LA.
I mean, it's one of those that you take it for granted, but you put her to the line, you feel like that's 2, just walk to the other end.
Coffey with it, Seattle by 9. This is going to go the way of the Storm. Garantes to Coffey. 13 on the shot clock, 3 ball in the way, no good. Rebounded by Jewell.
And I don't think they'll foul. This will do it. Seattle was tested. They were pushed, shoved by LA, and yet they stood firm, and they were the tougher team when it mattered down the stretch.
The Seattle Storm shoot just 37% from the field, 25% from three-point range. They turn it over a season-high 19 times for 22 points because of the scrappy, clawing Los Angeles Sparks defense. But when it mattered, it was Breanna Stewart, the world's best player, who just put this team on her shoulders.
I tell you, that was a heck of a performance and a tough performance. As I said, Seattle loves to play pretty, but when you play tough like that and say this is my house, Seattle is the best team when they play like that.
Breanna Stewart said, I have seen enough of this. I'm taking this game over. And she has 27 points on 8 of 15. 2 threes, including a huge one in the final minute and a half. 9 of 10 from the line and 11 rebounds. For Elise Woodward, Dick Fain saying so long, everybody. Storm win it tonight, 71-62.